Hey guys, just sitting down with Bryany Parker before she heads off on either a W League or an AFLW contract. Bryany spent kind of like the last 6 months with us, taking us through the NPL1 series for women in the off season after she came off with Sydney FC. And yeah, we're excited to have you off in the off season. Hopefully we've been able to help you out as much as we can in preparation for the season to come and bigger things. So firstly, tell us how you found us. And kind of the process you had.
Yeah, for sure. I actually had 2 testing days before I actually came in for my first session. So it was probably like a year and a bit ago was like the first time just sort of, I think it was Instagram or Facebook, I think maybe a Facebook post kind of popped up and showed the testing process, and I was like, cool, showed like the metrics that were taken and all that sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, I can get around that. And I needed sort of a new coach. I just lost my previous S&C coach because he had moved gyms and was sort of looking. At that time, I couldn't travel. I kind of figured out it was here, spoke to Carl, figured out sort of where it was based. It was like, can't commit to travelling because I was out at Western Sydney for uni. And then as soon as I changed to UTS, I was like, yeah, pull the trigger and go straight into it, and set up this is the second sort of time I came into contact. And it was sort of like from the get-go, like Carl had all the old testing things ready to go, still had the profile on me, so it wasn't like having to start fresh again, which was like a really good experience from day dot, really, in terms of that. Just being really seamless from first to second contact, even though that they were quite a distance apart. So that was like a really good, like, welcoming start to roll in with that. And then, I mean, NPL being an off season, but being a longer season than our professional season, it's really hard to stay injury free in terms of soft tissue injury because we play year round. So the difference in that, I think, has been the keystone of being here.
Yeah, cool. On that, probably a good change in topic is in terms of your load management. Like, do you want to give everyone like a bit of an indication of what you're having to deal with? Like, you're playing gym sports over this winter period, and I remember you came to me like, "Sean, I'm going to go do AFL." Like, fuck it, why not? Like, let's just pull the trigger. And I was run me through the process of like how that went about. How we went through your load management and how that's turned out for you.
Yeah, so pretty much out of the back end of W League, there'd sort of been some interest from like AFL Sydney in terms of being a transition player. And I sort of went in the direction of Sydney FC with the W League season and just going all in on that, and said like, thanks so much, but I'm not going to do the rookie thing. Like, I'm just going to stick to my sport. And then they sort of followed me up straight at the end of the season. Were like, you know, during the off season, do you want to come and get some game experience and do this? And they sort of set me up that way, so that I could have the option this year to say, you know, hey, I want to nominate in the draft as a rookie, with less than 12 months less than 12 months under my belt. And so, I ended up with a 5-night training load and a double game day on every weekend. So 7 days of just high intensity training or games. And then I was in here to kind of help that out and manage the loading because sort of right off the bat, I had that issue with my back. And it was sort of, the timing was very lucky that I was in here. I probably wouldn't have known what to do in terms of keeping moving apart from, you know, trying to just like walk and stuff like that. But the specific sort of exercises and having Nilesh like just ready to go and communicating so well, I missed like 10 days of training from what really, really short term. And that was just like a progressive loading issue, I guess. And it didn't really reoccur to that extent. I didn't miss another game after that first one, and that was like the second week that I'd been in with you guys. So, I mean, I think that speaks more than I could about how much this sort of being in the gym with someone that knows what they're doing and a whole team of people that know what they're doing, that kind of is self-explanatory of how beneficial it is.
Yeah, I think hats off to the guys at Manly United and East Coast Eagles.
Yeah.
Because they were really reciprocal for you to pull out some training sessions. So it was really nice to be a part of a collaborative team along with Nilesh and make sure that you were able to pull out some things, put in others, and there was an ebbs and flow of what was necessary at the time.
For sure. And I think that's like a blind side of professional sport. Like, you know, people that sort of think going down the elite pathway is like you can't miss a training session, otherwise that's it, pulled from the game. And it's kind of like you have to have people that are knowledgeable and that have sort of the know-how to tell you, like, hey, you've got to pull back the load during the week. It's not going to affect game day. It's actually going to improve, you know, the likelihood of you getting on the pitch in game day, and sort of having the trust there as well.
Yeah. Probably another good segue is, like you mentioned previously, that you've worked with S&C coaches. How have you found AA to be different in delivering service?
Yeah, so Scotty tells me I have 5 years. I'm at age 5, and that's what he calls me, and I'm in here because I'm at 5 years in the gym, sort of thing. So he says my gym age is 5, but honestly, in terms of like the difference walking in here compared to anything I'd done, it's like gym age 1 to me, because it's just starting over. Like, just the way that it's periodized and stuff like that. The little systems in place, like I say, I want to go like hard today, or like just I'm managing this, I've got this going on, and it's not all about like sort of what's happening in here as a self-contained bubble. It's more focused on the big picture than I've had in my like previous experience with S&C. A lot of the time they can get caught up because there's potential there with an athlete to really build, you know, big numbers that you're pulling in terms of in the weight room, and they can kind of be like, oh my God, like there's so much more potential to get those numbers bigger and bigger and bigger, and they just get caught up. And it's like, I'm not a power lifter, like I'm a power player in my sport, but sometimes adding that bulk and adding that, it slows you down. Like, you really want to get the mechanics right as well in terms of out in the field, which is something that you guys attacked a way that I hadn't really had. So that's good. Awesome. Yeah.
Things you're going to miss? Because we're going to miss you.
Yeah, the team, like just like you walk in and everyone gets around you. It's so cool. It's exactly the same as being out in a footy park. It is really like a team mentality. It's not just like a community, yes, but a team more so, I'd say, than a community, because the community is like a little bit more widespread. Yes, we all have the same interest, but it's like if there's a PB in the gym, everybody's looking. Like, or if someone's like struggling to make their 5th rep, you know, like Liv will turn around and like, come on, pull it. And you're like, yeah, okay, right, I'll pull it. Like, so it's good. I think everybody really gets around each other, and having like sort of that just elite athlete mentality is like nothing else. Like, there's nothing like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So just in terms of, although I know you're now leaving us, and I hope you come back next year in the off season.
Logistical reasons is why I'm leaving.
I'm happy we're able to help play a tiny little part in getting you into a professional contract again for the season. But what would it take for you to sit down and be having a Sunday coffee with someone, or Saturday coffee before a game, and recommend us?
I mean, I already have recommended you to a few people. One of my teammates that was going overseas, she had a knee strain, and I was trying to get her in here with the anti-gravity treadmill and stuff like that, just like pumping that. I was like, it's sick. But then sort of a few, because I'm a personal trainer as well, a few of my teammates have sort of come to me and been like, you know, should I come to your gym? Like, should I go to this gym? And I've just been like, I can't recommend enough that this is an athlete environment, and like my gym's not. My gym's a general pop environment, and like I'd love to see your face in there, but like if you want to go next level, like this is where you go, and this is what you do. So it's already there. You don't have to do anything. It's already done.
How good. So given that a lot of training throughout the season, like when someone is being managed, generally the first thing to go is the high intensity work, the top speed work. Now we've done some of that, and you came up and said, "Stephen, can we do this?" How have you found that, and how do you feel like that's helped in the back end of the season when you're starting to get a bit fatigued?
Yeah, so like sort of at this point, it's been about like sort of when I got here to you guys, it had been 3 years. I had been without more than 2 weeks, sort of off games. So in terms of that, that's not even off training. Like I've probably had 3 or 4 days off training here and there. But like 3 years, I've just been going competitive training, like just rolling from season to season. And then I added that second workload of AFL on the top of it. And so there was the fatigue in terms of the whole body fatigue, maybe the mental fatigue and stuff as well, of feeling like I wasn't hitting top speed. Or if I was, it was only on game day. And like, I'm someone that loves to hit top speed during the week, get ready, get pumped, have that confidence that, I'm flying into game day. And so that's when I come to you guys and said, let's do top ups. Like, I really want to get top speed. I feel like I've slowed down. My GPS has said I've slowed down. And sort of we had a look at that, and then we got on the Woodway and did top speed interval training, and straight away, we did only 3 weeks, and it's come out in the game already. Just feels so much better, so much lighter. I'm hitting better on the ground, the contact's better. We had a look at my mechanics as well, which is just little stuff like that. It's not just go harder. It's no, try this, do that. Yeah. And I mean, on all that fatigue front and all that sort of thing, it's just to be able to also go through a season that's 9 months long essentially, and not have a soft tissue injury is pretty huge. And I feel definitely the work that we're doing here, not very many females can go through, and it's something that is also it's a bit of a soft spot because we get hammered a little bit because we do have a year-round season. We don't have separate tiers in terms of A-League and NPL run at the same time, and we run from one season into the next, and we're expected to kind of sustain ourselves for majority of the year at a level that we can just roll into a competitive season that's so short that they can't take responsibility for your fitness wholly. You kind of have to come in halfway there and ready to go. So being injury free and getting the footage to send out and sort of bid for your contracts is huge, because the more days that you're in a park, the more footage you've got, the more viable it is to say take me. So yeah, it's the best thing.
Cool. Right. Thanks so much for coming in and helping us out. What an amazing time we've had, and I wish you all the best.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Thanks, man.